Did you hear that silence when Bo Nix went down? That wasn't just a stadium holding its breath, that was an entire season cracking in real time, and now the Denver Broncos are walking into the AFC Championship game without the quarterback who carried them there, without the kid who turned belief into reality, and with everything suddenly hanging by a thread thinner than anyone wants to admit. Because this isn't just an injury story. This is a moment that changes careers, rewrites legacies, and exposes what a team truly is when comfort disappears. Bo Nix is done. Season-ending ankle fracture. Surgery scheduled. No miracle comeback. No adrenaline-fueled return. The Broncos' heartbeat just stopped in overtime, and now we're all asking the same question. What happens when the dream quarterback goes down right before the biggest game of your life? Let's talk about that moment. Late in overtime, the Bills are pushing. The pressure is suffocating. Bo Nix steps up, takes contact, and something immediately feels wrong. You could see it. Not in a dramatic collapse, not in screaming pain, but in that subtle body language every football fan recognizes. He didn't bounce back up. He didn't argue. He just knew. Players know. Quarterbacks especially know when something has gone seriously wrong. The Broncos still won that game. That's the wild part. 33-30. A walk-off celebration that should have been pure joy, but instead felt muted, conflicted, because while Denver punched its ticket to the AFC Championship, the cost was the one player nobody could afford to lose. And by the time the locker room celebrations ended, reality hit like a brick wall. Bo Nix fractured his right ankle. Season ending. Surgery. Done. Sean Payton stood in front of microphones trying to sound confident. But if you listened closely, you could hear the emotional weight behind every word. He called Nix a tough cookie. He compared him to Patrick Mahomes. Not lightly, not accidentally. He reminded everyone that Bo Nix became only the second quarterback in year 2 to take his team to a championship game. That's not coach speak. That's legacy talk. Think about that for a second. In just 2 seasons, Bo Nix started 36 straight games. No benchings. No drama. No panic. Just consistency, growth, and leadership. He joined John Elway in the Broncos history books by throwing 3 touchdown passes in a postseason win. That alone should tell you how rare this run was. This wasn't supposed to happen this fast. And now it's paused. Not ended forever, but paused at the worst possible time. Here's what hurts the most. Bo Nix didn't lose this opportunity because he played poorly. He didn't get exposed. He didn't choke. He didn't melt under pressure. He got hurt doing exactly what you ask your quarterback to do. Compete until the final snap. That's the cruel part of football. Sometimes the game doesn't care how ready you are. So now the Broncos turn to Jarrett Stidham. And before you roll your eyes or start laughing, stop. This isn't the joke people want it to be. This is the most dangerous kind of situation in the NFL. The backup quarterback nobody prepared for emotionally, but who might be more ready than anyone realizes. Sean Payton didn't hesitate. He didn't dance around it. He said it clearly. Stidham is ready. Not, we believe in him. Not, he gives us a chance. Ready. Payton even reminded everyone that he's believed all season that Stidham is capable of starting for a number of teams. That's a bold thing for a head coach to say with his season on the line. Let's be honest about Jarrett Stidham. He's not a rookie. He's not a kid learning the playbook. He's been around. He started 4 NFL games. He's won games. And in his most recent action, yes, preseason, but still meaningful, he threw for 376 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and posted a ridiculous 143 quarterback rating. That's not accidental. That's preparation meeting opportunity. But here's the part nobody wants to talk about. Stidham is a completely different type of quarterback than Bo Nix. Nix is rhythm, timing, controlled aggression. Stidham is more vertical, more aggressive, more willing to test tight windows. That changes everything about how defenses will approach Denver. It changes protection schemes. It changes play calling. It changes how receivers run routes. This isn't plug and play. This is a philosophical shift happening in less than a week. And that's terrifying, because the AFC Championship game doesn't wait. It doesn't care about injuries. It doesn't slow down so you can adjust. You either adapt instantly, or you get embarrassed on the biggest stage. Here's where I'll give you my honest opinion as a fan who's watched this league long enough to recognize patterns. The Broncos are either about to shock everyone, or fall apart early. There is no middle ground here. Backup quarterbacks don't usually survive this moment quietly. They either rise into folklore or disappear into trivia questions. And that's why this game is going to be must-watch television. The locker room emotions right now? Off the charts. Sean Payton admitted it. There's grief first. Celebration for Bo Nix's season. Then the refocus. That's not easy. That's human. These guys didn't just lose a quarterback. They lost their leader. The guy who took every snap. The voice in the huddle. The calm under pressure. But there's also something powerful about this moment. Teams that survive this kind of shock sometimes become dangerous. Because nobody believes anymore. Pressure shifts. Expectations vanish. And suddenly the game becomes simpler. Protect the quarterback. Run the ball. Play defense like your life depends on it. And let the backup play free because nobody expects him to be the hero. If Jarrett Stidham plays loose, if he avoids turnovers, if the Broncos defense shows up angry, this could turn into one of those playoff stories people talk about for decades. Not because it was pretty, but because it was improbable. Now let me be clear about one thing. Any talk about Stidham being better than Nix is nonsense. That's not the conversation. Bo Nix earned his job. He earned this run. This injury doesn't erase that. If anything, it confirms how valuable he was. You don't feel this level of panic unless the player mattered deeply. The real question is this. Can the Broncos rally around loss instead of collapsing under it? Because history gives us mixed answers. We've seen backup quarterbacks win Super Bowls. We've also seen seasons end in the first quarter when reality sets in. The difference usually comes down to coaching, preparation, and belief. And if there's one thing Sean Payton knows how to manufacture, it's belief. Payton isn't naive. He knows the odds. He knows what he's asking of Stidham. But he also knows something fans don't see. How this team practices, how Stidham commands the huddle, how the locker room responds when Bo Nix isn't there. Those details matter more than any stat line. And here's my prediction, plain and simple. The Broncos will not play scared. They will take shots early. They will try to seize momentum before doubt creeps in. If they hesitate, they're dead. If they attack, they have a chance. No matter what happens, this moment will define this era of Broncos football. Bo Nix's injury will be remembered as the heartbreak that tested their identity. Jarrett Stidham's start will either be remembered as a brave footnote or the beginning of an unbelievable chapter nobody saw coming. So now I want to hear from you. Not what the analysts say. Not what Vegas thinks. What do you believe? Can Jarrett Stidham actually carry the Broncos through the AFC Championship Game? Or was Bo Nix the only thing holding this run together? Drop your take in the comments. And don't be safe about it. Because moments like this don't come around often. And when they do, they tell us everything about a team, a quarterback, and the fans who believed when it got uncomfortable.